Have you ever finally gotten something you wanted for years, only to feel the joy vanish the moment it was yours? Why does success sometimes feel so hollow? This story will show you what true wealth really means. Marcus was the most prosperous merchant in the region, living in a distant village. His home was filled with gold and jewels, his walls adorned with treasures gathered from every corner of the world. People looked upon him with reverence and whispered his name with envy, but Marcus was rotting from the inside. Every morning he counted his gold, every night he locked his doors. He trusted no one, smiled at no one. Lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, his heart felt like stone cold, heavy, empty. Yet he could not stop himself. One more thing, he would think, then I will feel complete. Years drifted by in that emptiness. One day, an old wanderer appeared at his door in worn-out clothes. His face was lined with wrinkles, yet his eyes were alive, glowing with warmth. I hear you are the wealthiest man in the village, he said. Marcus squared his shoulders. There is no one richer here, the wanderer nodded slowly. I once knew someone who thought the same. He had mountains of gold. He died alone. No one remembered his name. What do you want, old man? To show you true wealth, the kind that never fades, Marcus laughed. I have seen every treasure there is. You have nothing new to show me. The wanderer reached into his bag and pulled out a folded, yellowed piece of paper. This is a map. It leads to riches that will dwarf everything in your home. He paused. But there is a price. You must give me your finest jewel and walk with me. Marcus felt the conflict stir inside him. The ruby was the size of a fist, worth a house. But his greed won. He handed over the stone and took the map. We leave at dawn, said the wanderer. Within the first hour, Marcus was complaining. The road was dusty, his feet burned. He was not used to walking. The forest wore him down. He stumbled over roots and his fine shoes fell apart. On the third day, they came to a wide, fast-moving river. No bridge in sight. We cross, said the wanderer, rolling up his trousers and stepping into the water. Marcus hesitated. I'll get soaked. My coins will weigh me down. Then leave them. He clutched his coins tightly, but the old man was nearly at the other side. He had no choice. He stepped into the cold water, his skin prickled. The current pulled at his legs. Halfway across, his bag slipped. The coins tumbled into the current and disappeared. He reached the far bank soaked and shaking. He was furious. He felt betrayed, but something small and strange stirred inside him. He felt alive. The journey continued. They passed through villages Marcus had never seen. One family invited them to their table. They sat on the ground and ate simple bread and soup. The house was poor, cracks running through the walls. But the family laughed, told stories, and children darted about. Marcus watched them for a long time. He could not even remember the last time he had laughed. You have so little, he said to the father. How can you be so happy? The man smiled warmly. We have each other. We have today. What else do we need? Marcus had no answer. Weeks passed. They climbed hills and slept beneath the open sky. One evening, Marcus watched the sun sink below a valley he had never seen, orange, pink, purple. He stood in silence. Something inside his chest cracked slowly open. One night by the fire, he looked at his hands. Rough, dirty. His clothes were torn. Yet he did not feel poor. He felt something he could not name. Old man, he said quietly, it has been weeks. When do we reach the riches? The wanderer simply smiled. Very soon, my friend. The next morning they stood before a narrow cave entrance in the mountains. The wanderer lit a lantern and led the way inside. The cave opened into a large chamber. Marcus expected gold. He expected jewels. In the center of the room stood only a mirror, tall, ancient, in a simple wooden frame. Look into it, said the wanderer. Marcus stepped forward. He saw his reflection and froze. The man in the mirror was a stranger, or rather, he was familiar, but from a very long time ago. The reflection was cracked and faded. The face looked tired. The eyes held no light. The mouth had forgotten how to smile. Marcus stumbled back. "What is this?" "This is who you were," said the wanderer. "A man who had everything yet had nothing. A man who locked his heart inside a vault. Eyes that had not wept in years grew wet. I thought I was rich." "You were rich in things," said the wanderer. "But things cannot fill a heart. They cannot give you joy. They cannot remind you of who you are." Marcus turned to him. "Why did you bring me here?" The wanderer's voice softened. "I was once a king. I had palaces, armies, gold beyond counting. Then war came, and in a single night I lost everything, my family, my throne, all of it. I wandered for years, broken and bitter." He paused. His eyes grew distant, but slowly I began to see. I met people. I shared meals. I watched storms and sunsets. I worked alongside farmers. I listened to children sing, and I understood. "What?" Marcus whispered. "Material things decay. Gold rusts, jewels are stolen, palaces crumble. But lived moments, they stay with you. They take root in your heart. They transform you. They make you rich in ways gold never can." Marcus turned back to the mirror. The reflection was still cracked. "Can I fix this?" "Yes, by making different choices. By seeking life, not things. By filling your heart with moments, not metal." Marcus turned to thank him. The cave was empty. The wanderer had vanished like smoke. Only the flickering lantern remained on the ground. Marcus stood alone for a moment. He looked at the mirror one last time. Then he picked up the lantern and walked out. On the journey home, Marcus no longer rushed. He repaired a broken fence, played games with children, sat beside elders and listened to their stories. Every small moment added something to his chest, something gold had never been able to give. When he returned to his village, he looked at his treasures. They seemed cold and meaningless. He remembered the chill of the river, the soup of that poor family, the sunset over the valley. He knew what he had to do. He sold his treasures slowly, keeping only what he needed. With the rest, he opened himself to the world. He crossed deserts, mountains, and seas. He learned new languages, turned strangers into friends. He felt sunburn and rain. He tasted food whose name he did not know. He danced at festivals and wept at funerals. He laughed until his stomach hurt. Years passed. His hair turned white, his face grew lined, but his eyes were radiant. One day, an old woman asked him, "Are you wealthy?" Marcus smiled. "I have nothing in my pockets, but I am the richest man alive." The woman looked puzzled. "How?" "Because I have lived. I have seen. I have felt. The world has changed me." That is wealth that never fades. Sometimes we are like Marcus. We accumulate things, but hollow out inside. We count what we own and forget to count what we have lived. True wealth does not come from what you hold in your hands. It comes from what you carry in your heart. Experiences grow you, transform you, fill you with stories. A new car is just metal, but a road trip becomes a memory that lives within you forever. Ask yourself, what am I seeking? Am I building a vault or building a life? You grow wealthy when you seek new experiences, truly and permanently.